Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I do not know where you're watching me from. Thank you so much for joining in. We have 5 minutes before we can start the session. Allow me to just engage us in the next 5 minutes. I don't want to put in music because the last time I did put music, YouTube sent me, what do you call it? Email that I'm not going to, I don't know, something to do with, of course, with copyright. So for now, I will not put music, but yes, we are live. And guess what? We are talking about toxicity in relationship. This is a continuous series. I know I've been missing in action, but yes, I am back. I get a bit, busy. And just a minute, Rihanna. You'll join the Zoom so that I make you admin. I was talking to my daughter. They're the ones who helped me, who normally help me set up. So we have been on a continuous series, and now I have different groups that I have created for people who want healing. If you want to learn more about marriage, if you're single, maybe hoping to meet someone, there's those ones who are just interested to know about psycho-spirituality. And the list goes on. I think I have about 7 WhatsApp groups. So if you're interested, yes, I want to do the teaching, but more also very professionally and maybe cheaply. I don't know. I have not really decided whether I'm going to charge, but even if I'm going to be charging, it shouldn't be less, it shouldn't be more than maybe $10. But I do this for free, so even when the charges come in, there should be a very good reason to it. But all the same, if you're interested in growing you as a person, please feel free to reach out to me. My number is +254 722 816167. I will be putting my numbers again in the comment section, so you can always upload it if you need me to come in and talk to your people. Please feel free. So even as you join, because at some point I'll be going officially into the Zoom and I may not be able to really respond. So when you do the comments, please don't feel like I'm ignoring you. It's because I'm streaming in many places. Just feel free to listen. That is what is important. Ask me questions if you must. Even if I don't answer them today, I will answer them in due time. Of course, I have my notes here ready. I like to do my research during the week so that even as I speak, it's from an informed place. Nothing can be done without proper planning. So karibu sana. Let me know where you're watching me from. Even if you're to see or watch this later on during the week, please just drop a comment. Let me hear from you. I'd really appreciate. So God bless you and welcome. We're just starting in the next few minutes. I'm just putting on the other mini gadgets that I have so that just a minute. Rihanna, you can join. Salia Kivanga, welcome. Rihanna, I'm waiting for you to join. Welcome everyone. Welcome Mindspa. Thank you so much. Welcome all. Sorry, I'm trying to get my admin here. I have my Mindspa team. I'm very excited to have you. So I'll make you a co-host. So Mindspa team, I have made you a co-host. Please help me admit people because sometimes I get overwhelmed. For those of you who are joining in, I think Mindspa will need to mute you. I can hear you guys. Yeah, so for those of you who are are joining in Facebook Live, I'm just trying to set up because I'm going also live. I'm actually live on YouTube. If you're there, whoever is there on YouTube, please say hi. Today I'm multitasking. Karibu sana Sheila, I can see you. Sophie, there's someone who's joined from Xiaomi phone. As it is routine, let us give people 5 minutes or so to join. Just 5 minutes. We should start in the next 5 minutes at most. If you belong to different groups, please post the link. Welcome people. I know I've been missing in action. Santo, thank you so much for joining in. Let me also make you a co-host so that you can help me with admitting people who are joining us via Zoom. Facebook, if you're there, please wave, say something. Rihanna, thank you so much for joining, my daughter. I'll also make you a co-host. So please look out for people who are joining so that you can help me admit them, because at some point I will not be able to do this. So Rihanna, I am going to also make you a co-host. Mind Spa. So once you join, just put yourself on mute. Admins, please help me so that we are able to have everyone on mute. I don't know, can you guys see me? If you can see me, please let me know. Santo, Team Mind Spa, Rihanna, I'm really looking forward to you helping me to be able to admit anyone who's coming in. So please let me know if you can see me clearly, especially those who are on the Zoom class. Jackie Nyakundi, I want to acknowledge that I've seen you have joined. I don't know, Kemuto, karibu sana. Jane Tonkei, karibu sana. We are 11, we are doing well. And I know in due time we should be full house. So I was just saying it is 20:02. I don't know if we can enjoy music or if we can give ourselves 2-3 minutes so that we don't leave the few people. I know normally we say do not, can I say, reward lateness. And I feel that part of the reason why we are so dysfunctional and in toxic places is because we tell it as is. As a psychologist, I like to say things as is. Because the moment you start sugarcoating correction, you are basically enabling. Okay? I just started a new baby. I birthed a new baby, which is the Mind Spa Rehab. And one of the things that I'm very open with my people, who I really love, I call them my second family, is we just have to have this tough love. Because at the end of the day, we are here to grow. And for you to grow, you must be given feedback. So if you're there on YouTube, if you've joined on Facebook Live, please send me a wave, invite people, please share these links. I know I don't do this basically for the cash. It's just I'm very passionate about psychoeducating most of you. So please share this. Let us call, if you're in the women's group, if you're in the men's group, WhatsApp group, please invite your friends to come in. So we have 1 or 2 minutes and then we should start. So the last time I did play music on YouTube before my live, and then YouTube did send me a message that copyright issues, that I don't know what. So I'm very careful about putting in music. For the Zoom, of course, it is allowed. So today we are going to be talking about toxicity in relationships. And I want to say this. The reason why a lot of relationships are failing is because we lack the understanding. Okay? Everything, guys, is run by a certain system. And we lack the understanding that we need to be able to make the system work for us. Okay? So I'll be demystifying a lot, when it comes to, the mindset that people have towards toxicity, because nowadays, I mean, everyone I engage with, they tell me, oh, my partner is toxic, my partner is a narcissist. Who tells you they are? Who tells you they are? It's like nowadays we are so quick to judge. So without really waiting, I can see it's now 20:05. As I said, Karibu Lavin, please mute yourself as you come in. We shall not wait anymore, because I want to give this exactly 1 hour. So I will do the prayer. I will not so that we be able to do this fast. So as usual, we normally start with the prayer, so allow me to pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you this precious evening, 24th of March. We thank you, Lord, that we can create time to come and learn and to come and hear from you, because we do not do this on our own. You created us and you gave us the brains, you gave us these tongues, you gave us the hands, you gave us this body so that they function well. And Lord, even as we continue engaging, because this is an engagement, even as I teach, oh Lord, and even as I receive the questions that are coming through, I ask that you give me the wisdom, the Solomonic wisdom, to be able to feed anyone here who is looking for the right knowledge. I am just but an instrument, O Lord, of your hands. Help us and bless us, O God, to be better people. Help us to be able to acquire the mental muscle that we need for the generation today and the generation that is going to come, because the environment keeps on changing every other day. And we need the grace and the wisdom to be able to handle every single challenge that comes with every environment. We honor you, we glorify you, for it is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. So, karibuni sana. For those who are joining in, karibuni sana. Today we are talking about toxicity in relationship. Toxicity in relationship. And I did start this topic, I think, a month ago. So anytime you don't see me putting the posters out there, it means I am somewhere flying. There's so much happening. So I do travel a lot. I also get invited, guys, to speak in many forums, public forums, you know, in many spaces, social spaces. So it's not that I just decide that I am not going to be. I love, for those of you who walked the journey with me, you know I love teaching. Oh, I love teaching. I'm very passionate about it. So I do have my notes here. So if you see me flipping the pages, don't, yes, in as much as we have the knowledge, we have a format of doing this. So don't say, oh my God, she's just reading from a book. No, I take time to research. I write my short notes so that I can be guided accordingly. I can be able to be consistent, and I can be able to deliver this message in the best way possible. So the last time, if you're joining in today, we talked about two different types of toxic people. There was the master controller, and there was the deceiver. Okay, there was the master controller and there was the deceiver. All right, and today I'm going to be talking about the egoist. Though I feel I mentioned a little bit about the egoist, there's the drama queen and king. All right, we are also going to be talking about the moral authority, the emotional roller coaster, the pessimist, and I want you first of all to be able to understand the signs of a toxic person. Without knowledge, my people fail. That is the word of God. And I want to say this: without proper knowledge, as you handle yourself in any setting, whether you are at work, whether you're in a church, whether you're in a family, it doesn't matter. Those are just quote in quotes environments. Okay? So without you having this knowledge, I am telling you, you are like someone who is blind, walking in a certain space. You do not know where the potholes are. You do not know where the mountains are, the valleys. So the inevitable will happen. Okay? We know where you will be headed. So why I give you this knowledge is not because I am out to get any likes or no. If I can just help one person to become a better person, then I believe there's gonna be what we call the butterfly effect, the ripple effect. Can I say this, ladies and gentlemen? The reason why you are where you are is because of the choices you make. The reason why you experience what you are experiencing now is because of the choices you make. And remember, our choices are just but a backdrop or an effect of what goes on in our minds. If you're suffering, can I break your heart? It is because you want to suffer. God has given us the choice. That's why he gave us a brain. Today I was watching movies about gorillas, and someone said these gorillas are just human beings. They just don't want to be responsible. Why? They have the behaviors of human beings. Okay? It is sad to be seeing that we can be able to do so much, but we are not operating in our optimum. Okay? Elizabeth, karibu sana. Once in a while, I'll be just, recognize the people who have joined in. Jen, I can see you've joined us back. Sophie, karibu. Elizabeth, please send a message to our ladies group. If there's a gentleman here who's in our men's safe space, please send the message to our group so that they can be able to join in good time. Now, someone will ask me, Venus, what are the signs of a toxic person? Because we like saying personally I like saying I can't stand toxicity. But what are the major signs that would show you that you are involved with a toxic family member, you are involved with a toxic employee, you're involved with a toxic employer, you're involved with a toxic even church, can I say member? You know, this goes far and wide. Okay, these are the signs. If you have a pen and paper, please put them down. You can use this later on to also pass the information to other people when invited to do so. Number one, liar. A toxic person is a liar. And I want to say this. This is the disclaimer. You cannot say that someone has to really lie so deep and so hard for them to be toxic or to be called a liar. This is what I want to say. Even a slight variation of what is known to be the truth, even as a micro variation of what is known to be the truth, is enough to send you a red flag about the person you're dealing with. Okay? So let's not get it twisted, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not wait for the big lies or, every information was altered. No. Even the slight variation of something that is, I was in a meeting. I was, the way things come out, just the slightest variation that you are not given the proper details will show you that you're dealing with a toxic person. That is sign number one. Number two, people who are toxic lack what we call the EQ and the IQ. Okay? What is EQ? EQ is emotional intelligence. IQ is intelligent quotient. All right? What do I mean by the lack of these two things? This is what you expect from someone who lacks both the EQ and the IQ. Number one, they don't manage emotions well. Number two, they cannot connect well with others. What we call social behavioral disorder or antisocial behavior. Number three, they are not empathetic. Have you ever met people who don't care if they hurt you? They still, in fact, when they hurt you, they feel like they're better. They feel like they have motivation. Have you ever met such kind of partners? They will take you through so much pain, but nothing in them will stop and drop to just think about what they are doing to you. In all this, they will be feeling entitled to do what they are doing to you. That is toxicity, because it shows that this person lacks empathy. All right? Number four, these people cannot deal with human. Who here has ever cracked a joke? And then you crack a joke and it is taken in the very wrong way. Can you imagine? You crack a joke and then it is perceived as if it is an attack. Okay? Admins, you have to, yes, thank you. Admit some people who are on the waiting list. So you are cracking a joke. It was a conversation that was meant to, be of use. It's a conversation that was meant to, just make the situation lighter and help people, just feel lighter by laughing and all that. But it is met with animosity. People who lack EQ and IQ cannot handle humor very, very well. Okay? And number 5, people who lack EQ and IQ cannot resolve conflict. Conflict resolution, those skills are lacking. You have issues, they will go day 1, day 2, day 7, day 10, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and eventually even you shall be blocked for the whole year. That is what we call lack of EQ and IQ. Now, if you're listening to me and you find yourself predisposed to these things, I want you to really reflect back, because when we start now defining the different other types of toxic peoples, because they come in just like personalities, you'll be able to place your partner where they fit in. But this is something that you really need to take in seriously, especially if you're listening to me and you're single and you're kind of like trying to look for a partner. If you go for someone who cannot solve conflicts, who cannot handle situations very well, then I can tell you, for the better part of your life, you're going to be in a very, very sad place. You're going to be very unstable. Okay? So I want you to know that this is just not for people who are married. This is the relationships are there and they cross and they're different. There's one that the relationships that we have with our bosses and everything. So please just narrow down to where exactly you are in and apply what I'm teaching you today. Number 3, people who are toxic do not listen. They do not listen. They're the ones who take control of conversation. They dominate those conversations and they will talk and talk and talk. It's about them being heard but not listening. All right? And this is something that we say as psychologists, that people who talk too much, okay, and listen less, number 1, suffer from insecurity. Number 2, have a level of self-centeredness. Number 3, are also classified within the personality disorder of narcissistic disorder. If you're here and this is you, you just talk. You don't like to listen. When people are talking to you, you don't want to listen. Let me tell you, you need to go back and review, because every other day we are learning. Unless you also think, sit back and reflect, you will not really be able to master how to go about life. You'll be perceived in the wrong way by someone who has that critical eye. Take for example, from where I sit, if I'm engaging people, I normally don't tell you, but I can analyze you and already come in with various conclusions about who you are in terms of personality, and many other things. So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes we are sitting with people who can give us divine favor. Like maybe you're looking for a job and you're being asked questions, you're not taking time, slowing down to first listen before you answer. So these are very critical tips for you that can help you be able to really master in well. For those of you who are joining us, we are talking about toxicity. People, the signs of a toxic partner. We have said they are very dishonest, they lie a lot, and they alter even the slightest information. Number 2, they lack EQ and IQ. Number 3, they talk a lot. Number 4, they are always right. They are always right and you are always wrong. Okay? Anytime you try to challenge them, the people who cannot take criticism very, very well. In a relationship where probably you're encountering challenges, as partners or as workmates and all that, and you're coming out to give feedback. That feedback is met with animosity. Why? Because these people feel that they are the ones who are right. Okay? So there is nothing like, can I say, truthful feedback for them. For them, how their mind runs or how their minds operate is they must win. So anything besides winning cannot be taken with a lot of positivity. So is your partner that kind of person where whenever you're having conversations, when you're trying to correct them, they feel very entitled in their space. They treat you, in a way that brings pain to you, and they don't care whether you're crying. I've seen husbands, I've seen women come here, even men, and they say, I did this, and my spouse was not bothered. You will do things and they will not react. Lack of empathy. Okay? These are things that should help you be able to come back and reflect on where you are headed as a couple or as a person who is sitting in a relationship and decide the best way forward. When I started, I said this, guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you're suffering, it is because you have chosen to suffer. It is because you have not taken the knowledge that we are giving you very seriously. And you're blaming things. Don't blame witchcraft. Don't blame, I don't know what, all these things that we blame. Blame yourself because we are giving you information. There's information out there. But you cannot synthesize this information well and apply it in your area of operation. You're refusing to do that which is due diligence. And because of that, you are ending up in vicious cycles of frustrations that you ought not to be. Can I say this? Consistency in learning is the reason why a lot of us are stuck. A lot of us are frustrated. A lot of us are stagnated because we just sit there and we wait for a magic pill. Today I just want to challenge any one of you who might be finding yourself in a toxic space. Can you start by taking the necessary action? And we'll be talking more about how to deal with this toxicity. Okay? Can we start by just taking the necessary action? Other than learning, can we do that which needs to be done? It's very, very critical. People who are toxic, this is the next quality. They are very dramatic. Oh my God, call them drama queens, drama kings. They are so dramatic to the point whereby, if you look at their patterns, if you're having a conversation with them, if they are known to you, you will find that there's consistent episodes of crisis, consistent episodes of conflict, consistent episodes of clamor. And why are they drama queens and drama kings? They thrive in it. Now, drama doesn't have to be, the Chuck Norris, as I like to say it, kind of violence. Someone comes in and they're turning the tables upside down. By the way, drama can also be very subtle. Someone can just decide that I am not going to react to you, I'm not going to, and they go off. You talk to them, they are rebelling, that is also drama. And the reason why a lot of these toxic people thrive in that space is because there is, pleasure. There's pleasure. It's like almost an orgasm for them. Anytime they feel that, you're in a place of pain, you're in a place of suffering, they thrive in it. And I say this, sometimes we deal with family members, we deal with workmates who are sick mentally. And we take the burden. We end up hurting. We end up breaking down. Okay? Because we do not know. We don't have the knowledge. So ladies and gentlemen, you need to check out and see, how are the patterns? How are my patterns in this relationship that I am in? Is there constant drama? That is a way of you to being able to know that you are actually in a very bad space. You're in a poisonous environment. Number 6, these guys are very dependent on something. A toxic person, by the time they are hurting you, by the time they are behaving the way they are behaving, can I tell you this? They also end up in certain things that they use as compensatory, or what we call derailers for themselves. Okay? So we say this as scientists, okay, and more so human scientists, that people who are toxic have high levels of addiction. High levels. And addiction has many types. There's shopping, there's pornography, there's alcoholism, there's drugs, there even religion now. There's a new, and now the latest addiction is what we call nomophobia. The addiction, the scrolling, addiction, where you're always, looking for information. You don't even know, you take your phone 3 hours, you're still on Instagram, you're still on. I'm not saying that social media is bad, but if you're doing that, if you're in that space because of someone else, then it means that you are in an environment that does not support your growth. And this is what we say: if you're not growing, you're dying. Okay? If you're not changing, you're dying. Okay? And we see it from the natural things that are around us. So if you're in a relationship and you end up not being able to be a better person, then you know that whoever you are with, or whoever you're sharing that space with, is quite toxic. The other thing, people who are toxic are actually very sarcastic. That is the funniest thing, like very sarcastic, and it's done in a very derogative way. Okay, very derogative comments. Humor that lacks empathy, that leaves people feeling like they are inferior. Humor is meant to make people feel good. Humor is meant to make people, feel lighter, because the process of laughing is good. It's good for the soul. But when someone uses sarcasm to make you inferior, then that person automatically is clustered as a toxic person. Okay? Is clustered as a toxic person. All right? The other thing is victim mentality. Now, this is what I want to say. And a lot of relationships are failing because one spouse is always feeling like the victim, and yet they never rise above that victim mentality. Okay? So people who have this victim mentality say that all their problems are there because of someone else. I see people coming to tell me, Venus, I am just where I am. I cannot move past this because my mother did this to me, because my father did this to me, and I normally ask them, where is that person? Are they dead? Are they alive? Do you think they are thinking about you? Okay? Now, that thing of victim mentality can really alter your feelings, because by the time you're carrying someone else on your fragile back, and I love using this analogy, all right? And you're saying this person is the reason, and they are behind your back, and every time something happens to you, you will always say the same thing. It is because my parents did not love me. It is because my spouse does this to me. It is because... Let me tell you, all these lame excuses that we end up carrying. It is because, in fact, I hear people saying, it is because I don't have money. You don't have money. So you're behaving, you're killing yourself. You're making the choice to literally bring yourself down because of someone else. This is why I tell spouses, people who are in marriages, people who are carrying others, it is not worth it. Set them free. Forgive. Move on. If there's anyone who was certified in resentment, I think in my younger past, and for the better part of my growth, was me. I knew how to carry people. I knew how to. But one thing that I realized is, when I'm going down to the grave, I leave these people on this earth, if they will not have gone ahead of me, I will be buried as one person, Dr. Venus. So for me, I want to travel far, and I want to be lighter. And being lighter means I drop off anyone who in the past has been a reason for me not growing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in a relationship and you're faulting and you're dysfunctioning and you're making yourself literally become nothing because of someone else, I want you to sit down and reflect and ask yourself one question. That person that you hate so much, that person, are they worth you? Are they worth you carrying them because they are slowing you down? If you love yourself, the only way to make yourself go far, the only way to be able to get to success, is to drop those ones that have been a pain to you, that have wanted you to remain stagnated. Because as long as they're in your heart, as long as they are in your mind, you will never be able to function well. Toxic relationships have a way of creating certain behaviors in us You find a woman who is not being treated well by the husband, cannot relate well with her workmates. She just goes, sits in a corner. No antisocial behavior. And the reason that she's doing all this is because things at home are on fire. Now she cannot relate with other people. And it is because of this one person. And God is giving you 1,000 other people to handle. Can we learn to see the bigger picture? Can we learn to grow from our defeated mentality? Can we learn to aim so much for success that we are able to know how to balance ourselves, what to drop and what to pick? So that victim mentality will never take you anywhere. Your problems should not be pegged to a person, because with your hands, with your mind, with your feet, you can be able to do so much as a person as long as you have the right knowledge and as long as you can be able to get a good support system. Let us stop this blame game, because we are wasting time and wasting ourselves. Own your life. Become responsible for your life. So what if you are brought up in a poor home? So what if you did not have a father? So what? Can you heal? Can you heal? Can you pick up yourself and decide to be the best? It is so important, ladies and gentlemen, because I can tell you today, a lot of people are going to their graves early because they are carrying other people. And every day, it is like poison to your body. You're blaming people why you cannot eat. You're blaming people. Now, eventually, you end up being a cabbage. Eventually, you end up being nothing. Eventually, you even miss the opportunity to really become that person that you are created for. You are unable to actually get to your purpose because of a toxic person, because of a toxic friend, because of a toxic partner. The decision is with you. I am just giving you signs, symptoms, characteristics of people who are toxic. But at the end of the day, you must decide what you want for yourself. People who are toxic cannot appreciate service providers. They're the people who you will go, your partner will take you, for a treat out there. They will be abusing the waiter. They are toxic, so they cannot be able to handle service providers. Okay? They're not able. Remember when I talked about, emotional and intelligent coaching? They're not able to really balance their emotion. So it is taken. There's something we call transference and counter-transference, where you pick emotions and you take them to another weaker object and you use them as your point of frustration. Okay? People who are toxic suffer from grandioses. Grandioses. They exaggerate things, small things. They're exemplified. They like to talk about their accomplishments. They like to talk about their acquaintances, who they know, the celebrities, so and so, is my best friend, they love, basically, they will take something small, a mustard seed, make it a mountain. Toxic people. And in the relationship, whether it is work or marriage, something small will be blown out of a proportion. Oh, you told me what, and people will not be breathing. Your home will not be okay, because just that small thing now has been blown and now the house is on fire. You're even resigning from your workplace. Oh, because my boss, she did not talk to me nicely. My friend, if you ever give attention to toxicity, you're done. If you ever give toxicity room, you're done. Because we say people who are toxic suffer from, it's a mental issue, it's a mental disorder, it's a mental disease. So by you even allowing them to affect you, it's like taking someone who is oblivious, someone who does not even, have you ever dealt with people who are out of their mind? How do you react with someone who is out of their minds? How do you even bring yourself to that level? Your partner is dysfunctional. He's sick. She is sick. Okay? And you're reacting to what they're doing. Okay, so what I just want to say is that at the end of the day, this information is for you to be able to make the right decisions. If you need to leave a toxic relationship, you must make the decision. But of course, as we normally say, there's always room for you to work with your partner. All right, work on the relationship, see how everything will go. Work on the relationship with your bosses, work on the relationship with your siblings, family members. Okay, be the greater one, be the more, the can I say, the positive person in the relationship. Okay, and the last quality about types, the traits of toxic people is the controlling trait. These people love to control. They love to have you in their fingertips. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, control happens in many ways. Do you know someone can literally punish you, take you through mental torture? Observe how you're reacting to them, and it is their way of putting you, controlling you, by depressing you, by stressing you. They're basically controlling your world. All right, so if you're in a relationship that feels like you can't breathe, you can't, you might need to seek help so that you're able to relieve yourself from the poison that will slowly kill you eventually. There are people who fall ill within certain relationships. Okay, and I said, for us to be able to be better, we cannot start blaming people. Okay, so you got sick, you got ulcers, chronic ulcers. Who told you to be able to, I mean, who made you this, can I say, who gave you the power to make this person a demigod? Isn't it you? Isn't it you? You chose to focus on that person. So what I'm just trying to say is that we need to make the right choices. All right, so those are the 10 or 11 traits of people who are toxic. Now, just like personalities, there are different types of toxic people. That's another interesting thing. Different types of toxic people. Okay, allow me to talk about the drama and the drama king. Okay, now these are people they will drive you crazy. Literally, they will drive you crazy. You will not rest. You will not rest. It's all about, and they can be violent, because you can imagine being in a movie where there's action. Okay? They're breaking things. You're being abused. Let's mute ourselves. You're being abused. You're being, it's all about, drama. Basically, you're not, you find yourself in a very unstable situation. You find yourself in a place of fear, because everything that is done around an issue has its own level of drama. Okay? There's violence, there's stealing, there's I don't know what, there's fornication, there's adultery, there's, you're being cheated, all these things. They're different forms of drama. So if you have a partner or a boss or a neighbor or a friend who is full of drama, you need to step back, because you are the fifth person in every circle of friends. So if you have four friends who have the same traits, you being the fifth person shows who you are. So if your friends are toxic, then it means automatically you don't need to tell me who you are. You're the fifth person. Like-minded people attract. Okay? So drama is something that needs a whole day to talk about, because it has its own, we need the deeper understanding why people can be very dramatic. And part of some of these reasons include a violent past. Statistics show that people who have been brought up in places where there are gunshots, people who have been brought up by parents who used to physically fight, tend to be drama queens and kings. And there are very many other environments that I would like to bring up. But just for today, because we really want to rush through this, allow me to just, talk about the other types. Of course, later on, this is something that I do every Sunday whenever I am on ground. we can basically break this down. And please, if you have any question, you can feel free to drop the question. You can inbox me on my personal number. You can put it here. I think I'll give us like 10 minutes so that I can be able to answer the question. And of course, during the week, because I'm not promising to answer it today, I can actually get back to you in the course of the week. So don't feel shy. Ask me questions. I am here to help you, not only as a counselor, but as a psychologist. All right. The other type of toxic personality that we have within any setup is the put down artist. They are called the put down artist. Who is a put down artist? A put down artist is someone who uses their skills to degrade your value as a person. They deny you things so that you feel like you're less of a person. In a relationship, you're denied sex. In a relationship, you're denied maybe can I say financial support? You're denied empathy. You're denied, all these things. And eventually you end up feeling diminished. Eventually you end up feeling, desperate. You end up feeling so low because you're dealing with someone who basically pushes you down with the motive of making themselves look good. That is the intention. The put down artist will put you down as a person, as a wife, as a husband. But their main intention is to make themselves feel and look good. We know that there are dynamics that happen in a relationship. If it's a work relationship, there's what we call common respect. There's what we call, something like unconditional positive regard when it comes to a relationship, I always say, by the time we are labeling each other and we don't have the forgiving spirit, then you have decided that you are judging a person. But for us as counselors, we are always told, one of the things that you need to embrace is to just think of everyone in a positive way. Now, by the time someone is denying you important things, in denying you your rights, just simple basic rights, like, the right to sleep well. You're dealing with someone who is out to destroy you. Let me tell you, you go back home, you don't sleep, you cannot eat, you cannot function. This is basically that put down artist. And guess what? No one really comes out to ask the other person, how can I make you feel better? No one. And that's why I say sometimes, and I talk from also experience. Remember, I've been in a relationship for long enough, 20-something years. I say that sometimes pride is the last place to be, showing off or flaunting your, marriage is the last place. Relationships are the last place to be flaunting your pride. You cannot be the one who you'll just be called all the time. You cannot be the one who always at you. People will be asking you, are you okay? You cannot. And where there's conflict, if both of you decide you're embracing your ego, I can tell you that relationship will die a very natural death. So if you have someone who carries the traits of a put down artist, it means most of their time, because part of the things that we do is analyze history, you can tell that this person was brought up in an environment that did not encourage them to thrive. They had potential, but every time they tried to, do something, they were pushed down. And for those of you who have, helpers, home managers, what I want to say is that the skill that home managers comes with is very important. That domestic manager, let me tell you, she's part of the story of your child. So if they're the type who are easily angered and they don't encourage these children that we sire, to really express themselves, I can assure you in the future, when these children grow, they become the put down artists of the generation. Because they can't deal with supporting people. They cannot deal with other people thriving above them. It's about them manifesting their muscle. Okay, so remember we've talked about the put down artist, We've talked about the drama kings and queens. Thank you, Abel, for joining us from Nigeria. I just want to recognize your presence. Nora, thank you for joining us. Marjorie, I can see you. Lynette, Ruthokumu, Susan, NN, thank you guys for joining. If you're in groups, please post the link. Let people come. This is for free. I love sharing information so that we can have a generation that is healthy. Okay? Now, there's a very interesting group of people that we tend to ignore, and they're so toxic, but they come with glam. They're dressed up so well, diplomatically, professionally. They will abuse you. The people will tell you you're stupid, but they will be smiling and you will not feel the impact. Very strategic. Now, these are the people we call the moral authorities. Okay? Moral authorities love to hide themselves. They are not the type of people. This is not the kind of partner who will come directly to you and say, Sin. And Sin, thank you so much for joining us. I think it's from Harare. Thank you so much. Nice to see you. So they'll come to you and say, Sin, I feel that, what you're doing is not right. Okay? So they're not forthright with you. They're not open. Okay? They're not giving you feedback. Well. What they do is they use communication, a language that pontifies your faults. So they hide behind, can I say, some level of communication. So to them, in their minds, and this is what happens in their mind in terms of processing, they feel that they have been appointed by God to coerce compliance with what needs to be done. So this is someone who will tell you, I feel that whatever you're doing is not even right with if you're in a club, the moral code of conduct. So they're not really coming out openly, but they're using moral codes to communicate to you that you are so off. Okay? And in their world, with these people, God, if they're talking about, if you're dealing with someone who is really using God is portrayed as someone who's vengeful. God is portrayed as someone who is, such a condemning judge, The way they put God across is like, he will come and strike you, because of what you're doing. They almost threaten you with what is going to happen to you because you are doing things a certain way. They don't come to you and ask you, why are you behaving the way they? So they fight you, but they fight you in a very hidden manner, using systems. Let me say that system. And the main system here is communication. Okay? So they feel that they're the authorities. They feel they're right. They feel that, so it's almost like that person who feels that they're so righteous. Now, they will always be on a journey to correct you because you are the one who is faulting in the marriage. So every other day when you're dealing with such spouses, you're dealing with such workmates, you're dealing with such family members, they will tell you how, whatever you're doing is not even in the Bible. I don't know what. Such kind of approach. Okay? Love, mercy, forgiveness is always withdrawn from this conversation. Okay? Yet they claim to be some level of authority. Alright? So these are the moral authorities. And remember, I said that, most of the time I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that when you're dealing with people, please refrain from just, taking in the flirting. If you want to really know a human being and their intention, this is a secret. Watch what they do to you. Don't listen to the words. Okay? Watch what they do to you. I don't need to tell you your partner is toxic. I don't need to tell you your employer is toxic. Just by listening to me today, you will be able to actually conclude for yourself. Because behavior is everything. Behavior is the after result of what is put in the mind, then processed, and can be said, okay, or confessed, and then mostly, and in a very natural way, automatically is expressed through behavior. So if you ever want to really know, where am I at in this relationship? Or, look at, assess how you have been treated in that relationship. That should be able to give you enough data or statistics that will help you be able to say, I am in a toxic relationship. Now, there are people we call emotional roller coaster types of toxic people. What do they do? These people, just like that word, emotional roller coaster, they're like this, up and down, up and down. So they're normally full of highs and lows. They're never in the middle. They're never stable. Today they wake up, they're so moody, blah, blah, blah. Tomorrow they'll be on a high. They're never consistent when it comes to moods. Okay? These people are called emotional roller coaster because they don't have full charge of their emotions. They cannot regulate themselves. They have given power to mood swings, and they will give you reasons why they are the way they are. Oh, I don't feel like doing anything, so I'll sleep the whole day. Oh, I just woke up and I just don't feel motivated, so they will be absent. They will not participate in anything. They will not show up for work. And these are the people we are seeing today. Okay? So they don't have charge. They lack emotional intelligence, because emotional intelligence is the ability of you being able to do what? To balance your emotions. You are aware of the environment. You know the triggers that have made you feel the way you're feeling. But over and above that, as a normal, healthy person, you're able to now rise and question and try and make amends to this environment where there is fault. So it means if a couple is healthy, during times where there's conflict, there should be some level of regulation. At least the healthier person will come and try and bring these people to bring themselves, into a place of, can I say, a peaceful coexistence. You're bringing yourself back to an happy place as you solve the situation. But if you're the two of you, or if both of you are toxic, you will find that a lot of the times you're dwelling in the lows. Okay? And if it's the highs, you're also in the highs. So we cannot say that this couple is consistent. Okay? There's so much fluctuations, and these fluctuations are coming in vicious cycles. So someone there normally is a trigger. We say that, because you're two, each of you brings in a level of, people, can I say personalities? Marriages is about, a personality. Workplaces are also about personality. So when you have people who are, very, very, can I say, unstable in terms of emotions, then you end up now being confused on how to handle these people. All right? Because, well, you can imagine having to talk to someone who is moody. Where do you start from? I personally hate it. Even though sometimes, yes, I have been moody as a woman. Anyone who is female here, sometimes those days are there. But ideally, even if we have those moods, we normally regulate ourselves. Okay? And if you might be thinking, or probably want to ask me, why do people really have this kind of trait? Why the roller coaster? We say this. Most of them suffer from psychological disorders, and the one specific one that I would want to bring out, and if you have time, please go and Google more about this personality disorder. It's called the manic depressive disorder. Okay, so you find that manic depressive disorder is, manic is high and then depression is low. So they have that up and down, up and down, up and down. And sometimes for those who want to pretend, you'll find that, as I said earlier, they will find themselves in patterns of addictions. Okay, where now they're taking things to try and regulate themselves. Some of them will go, maybe you're on a low, you'll go take alcohol to try and, express yourself and all that. So understanding that we are very fragile people as human beings is very, very important. Okay? And if the intensity, or the emotions is not checked, and if they're not helped, normally we have serious repercussions. All right? So I think for today, because we have 5 minutes to the top of the hour, allow me to just quickly go through the last trait There's still almost like 3 more other characteristics, and then of course after that I will tell you how to deal with toxic people. I will give you more signs on how to break out, you know, the rules, the do's and don'ts, you know, and all that. Okay, so anytime you're seeing the posters coming up, please purpose to attend so that you can have all the knowledge that you want, you know, or you need for you to be able to handle, you know, the relationship that you're finding yourself in. All right. Now, the last person that I want to talk about in today's session is the pessimist, and I'm sure most of you you already can tell who this person is. A pessimist is someone who is very negative. Attitude, thoughts, everything about them is just toxic. From the word go, if you meet such a person, you can be able to see and actually pick the traits. They are very skeptical. They can be very cynic. All right? And I want to just delve a little bit and tell you the reason why a lot of people are negative. The reason why people are like that is because in the past they have also experienced a very negative behavior. I mean, if you've listened to me in the past, I always say that, you know, I always say that our history shapes us. Our history shapes us. If you are brought up in a home that had a lot of negative stuff going on, I'm telling you, you don't need to struggle. It's actually a natural trait in you. It will flow. I always say, what is within is what will come out. Okay? So these people have trust issues, and the way they compensate, you know, their lack of trusting others, you know, the lack of, you know, what they do is they normally meet you with a lot of negativity. And these people are normally very gloomy most of the time, and they create problems for themselves. Let me tell you, as I started earlier and I said this, where you are at today is just but a result of what? Of your own choices. Don't blame anyone. Don't say I have a toxic partner, Venus. You don't understand. The reason why I'm the way I am, the reason why I'm in an addiction, the reason why No. Let us call a spade and a spoon a spoon. Okay? There's always in life we have two things. A left hand and a right hand. Positive or negative. Right or wrong, darkness or light. So, if you are finding yourself in a situation that is not pleasant to you, you might need to go back and reflect. But over and above everyone, I want to ask you today as I conclude, is it worth it? Because toxicity, in terms of, can I say, analogy, is equated to poisonous situations, being in a life-threatening situation. If you drink poison today, you will die. Now, toxic relationships are clearly defined as being or dipping yourself in poison. At some point, any opening that you have, your nose, will allow the fluid, that poison, to flow into you. And if poison is flowing into you, then we know the resulting effect is death. But how many of us will die because of toxicity in relationship? How many of us have chosen that path and we feel helpless? We have become so blind, we become so mind-locked that we cannot even make the right decision. You can see you're living with a toxic person. You can see that this person never got, and this is what I want to say. Some of us, by the way, are dating partners who never got past adolescence. They never, when you look at the traits, they're just toxic, self-centeredness, selfishness, lack of responsibility. And imagine doing life 50 years with the same person. Would you want that for yourself? I don't think so. So, what would be the best way forward? And this is where I bring in therapy. You yourself, start going for therapy. Go get empowered. Go see the damage. There's a group that are formed for healing. Go and see how this relationship has damaged you. Accept, I love using this term, accept the truth. Adjust what you have found out to be the truth. Adjust yourself around the truth. Then advance. Okay? Those three things. But you cannot be able to do this if you don't have the right person working with you. You need a therapist. If not a therapist, you need a coach. If not a coach, you need someone who has walked the journey ahead of you and has the wisdom. They can be able to call things as they are. You are living with a toxic person. You are actually in a toxic space. Number two, other than being with those specialists, you also must try and move away from those environments. Okay? Move away from the environment. I asked someone the other day, why is it when people are in a place like, can I say, let me use this. I find that because in Europe there are systems that really work well. A lot of us, when we go there, we adapt to the system. Why? The culture is already programmed and people have embraced that. Okay? Now, if the environment is critical in shaping who you are, it means if you step away or if you go away or move away from that toxic space, it means then you're able to think more. So what I want to say is, for those of you who are in a relationship where there's violence, there's, I want to challenge you. You may need to take a break, even if it's 1 week, even if it's 3 days. Go away somewhere, think, pray, okay? Because toxicity will kill you. As I said, people nowadays are suffering from serious chronic ulcers. Why? You go back home, you cannot sleep, you cannot eat. All these things, the body is absorbing. It is manifesting. So eventually what happens is you begin to die. You have so much gas in you. It's eating you up. And funny enough, as I say this to most of my clients, is sometimes imagine just being able to deal with the situation and talk and communicate can help you save the situation. But because of pride, we end up now suffering and all that and all that. Some of us, we just have many other dysfunctional behaviors. Okay? So what I want to say is that don't really suppress yourself when you need to communicate. One of the challenges and one of the things that I've really, grown up in and I'm trying to really get it right is to communicate. Okay? I'm not yet there. But I believe that from I used to be someone who used to really be silent, even in my younger years. But now I have learned the art of communication, and that's why I am here to teach you. Sometimes it takes just that talking, okay? But remember, the number one effective thing is, first of all, to see a therapist, and then if need be, if you're in a violent space, please try as much as you can, get into a different environment so that you can be able to also see things clearly and make the right decision. All right? So that's said and done. Allow me to end the session there. I don't know if there are any questions. I would like to just give us the opportunity to ask. And someone has asked me a question. How does one support someone who has a narcissistic partner? Okay? How does one support someone who has a narcissistic partner? Now, I'm sure some of you have been in with me when I talked about narcissism. And this is what I say about narcissistic behavior and the world nowadays, the world nowadays, because what happens is I feel that a lot of people just label others, something small, one trait. Oh, my partner is narcissistic. Why? Oh, they get angry. Oh, my partner is narcissistic. Why? Because they're self-centered. I said this during my talk on narcissism, that you must be able to at least verify 12 out of 15 signs that I gave of narcissistic behavior. However, if you are the one who asked this question and you have a narcissistic person, the number one and the most effective thing is to give them the knowledge. And how will knowledge help them? First of all, it would be good to just, discuss about it, because feedback is very important, all right? So we're talking about feedback, letting them know that there are things that they do that are not good for their relationship. That is number one. Number two, because narcissists will not really go out there proactively to seek help. Remember, narcissists are very proud. They are very egoistic. Remember, they're the ones who must win this, everything. They love to punish, as I said, either in silent ways or whatever. So ideally, you must try as much as you can to get them to a place where they can agree to do what? To go in for therapy. And how do you do this? Because the narcissist will not agree to go for for counseling alone. So you must rope yourself in. You're mostly doing like a joint, or you're going in as a support system. Remember, they're the kind of people who want to look good. So even as you're engaging them, you're not making them look like they're at fault. Okay? You're telling them probably it would be good for them because they need to grow in a certain aspect. So if you're having a narcissistic partner, let me tell you this, it's hard to change a narcissist because there's what we call the malignant narcissist. A malignant narcissist is a born narcissist. People who are born in certain hierarchies that, can I say, please help me mute Bathsheba, you're on. Okay, thank you. So they're born in families whereby there's like leadership, okay? There's leadership, and we say that narcissists make very good leaders, by the way, but you find that this thing is in them, okay? So it is in their blood, all right? And the malignant narcissists also have a positive trait, okay? So with them, it needs, that exposure in places of forums, conferences where they can be educated and they don't feel like they're the ones at fault, all right? Now, we have the covert type of narcissist, and there are many other narcissists. If you've not probably checked out my I think I did a talk on narcissism, and it was a whole series. I think I did almost 2 months. Please check even the covert narcissist. Now, who is a covert narcissist? A covert narcissist is someone who does the wrong thing to you, and then they behave like they're the victim. Okay? They will spite you with something. They are the ones who have made you to get angry. But they will behave like now you owe them an apology. Yet, they are the reasons why you find yourselves. Okay? So, what I want to say is that it would be nice if you know what type of narcissist your spouse is. Okay? So that you can be able now to approach them with the right approach. Because sometimes people end up, can I say, bowing out because they are handled poorly. You get it? You are just a covert narcissist, but you are handled as a malignant narcissist, all right? So ideally what I want to say, and this is why I was saying knowledge is power, because once you have the knowledge, you're able to just tick the boxes. Go and listen to my presentation, okay? Check the narcissist. I also gave recommendation on how to help, someone in case they are narcissists, okay? So it would help you to be able now to know how to work yourself around them. Because some of us end up being triggers to narcissists, and every other day when you wake up in the morning, oh, I have a narcissist partner. In the evening, oh, I have in church, oh, I pray for me. But you yourself are the trigger, okay? And that is why when you're able to really know, you're able to make the right decision. So I hope I've answered that question correctly. Thank you for asking that. That's from an anonymous person. Someone has asked, do you have a recording? Some of us joined late. Yes, today, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I thank God for my daughters, Rihanna and Riella. I want to just acknowledge them here. They are the ones who have helped me set up. So I'm live on Facebook, I'm live on Instagram, and I'm live on YouTube. So probably next time I'll also be live on TikTok. So if you missed out and you joined late, this will be available to you on YouTube, and it will also be available on my Facebook page, Europa Venus. Okay, and I'll also share it on Dr. Venus Chengo as a page so that you can be able to catch up. So today I applaud my daughters. Of course, they will get a treat for really trying to set up and all that. And we are growing by the day. I think when I started, I did not have, I was zero on technology. But as we are going by, Yes, I believe that we are getting better. And for sure in the future, we are going to get better. All right. Thank you, Elizabeth Mokinyo. For those of you who do not know, Elizabeth is also a very seasoned counselor. Actually, I met her when I was doing my higher diploma. So if you have any issue, do not suffer alone. And Elizabeth, you have put my husband's number there. It's supposed to be 816167, but of course if they reach my husband they will reach me. Yes, so my number is 072281. Santo, you can post my number there, or Elizabeth, so that anyone who needs therapy, please feel free. I will assist you, and if I'm not able to assist you, I will give you contacts of other therapists who can also be able to assist you in good time. There's another question, not a question, but I'm so grateful for what you have done in my life. Never stop doing. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. Love you to bits. Thank you for that. It really encourages me when I hear that feedback. You know, sometimes you're doing things and you don't know if you're doing it right. You don't know, but feedback, we say, is breakfast for the kings and queens of this earth. So when you encourage me and you pat me and you tell me it's changing you, I'm really, really encouraged. And that is normally the motive, that we can just change one person, okay? And this one person will change 10 more. So remember, we are doing this together, and it is because today I tell you mental health is a need. I'm telling you, it is a basic need, because the things we are seeing happening out here, leave a lot. So please let us purpose to not only share anything that is mentally, can I say, growth. It's growth for the mental health, when we come across, not just my own presentations, any other, have this, can I say, attitude of lifting others and giving them that mental muscle. All right, Dr. Mombi, thank you for being here with us. Thank you for the presentation. It was clear. We want more. Yes, yes, yes. I always say time is what really I don't have in plenty, but this 1 hour, I believe I'm able to mean. And sooner or later, for the ladies who are here, for the gentlemen, I want to say this year 2024, we are going to be doing things differently. I'm actually in the process of organizing face-to-face conferences for women. We want to come, join, meet. We'll have a lot of therapists there. We'll do group sessions. We want to help you to grow, and we'll be doing this on a face-to-face value. There'll be the joint face-to-face for those who want us to meet. We can meet in town or meet somewhere. I want to start that culture. We'll, of course, we'll be streaming still live for our people who are in the diaspora. All right, but this year we're going to do different things differently, because we want to put mental health in the forefront. So if you're here and you'd like to partner with me, organizing, and all this, please reach out. I think I would want the first can I say, gathering to be either end of April or in May, and we want to make it big. All right, so this is for you to grow. I know there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn. I can't even re-emphasize that. There's so much to learn, but there's little time. But that we get, if we take it and we action on it, I'm telling you, you'll be one of the most peaceful, happy, and successful person. So that's it and done. We are done for the day. Thank you so much for joining in. You can reach out to me personally in case you had any maybe private question. I'll be there to respond to you. But allow me to call it a day. Yes. Raised hand. Okay. Sorry, I can't see it. If you've raised your hand, please ask. Let me. Can I see the raised hand? I can't see it on my screen. Lavin. It's Lavin. Lavin? Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Lavin. Please ask your question. There is something you said I haven't grasped very well about how to toxicity. You said you have to go for therapy, there's acceptance, and the third point was? You accept, you adjust, and then you advance. I call them the 3 power A's. You accept, you adjust, and then you advance. Accepting your person, knowing that for sure I got married to this person and they were toxic even when I met, but I didn't know. But now I'm in a place where I'm able to pick those qualities. Is the number one, can I say, a pill for healing. So you have accepted that for sure I'm in a toxic relationship. Then the next thing is adjusting. How do you adjust? Now, there's something we call triggers in relationship and enabling. What is that? What is triggering? Triggering is being the, can I say, the cause of a certain situation. You're basically put on that switch and now there's an effect to it. Okay? So sometimes we are the ones who trigger, okay, that situation. We know the person is toxic, but we are always, can I say, triggering them to get into that habit. Okay? Another thing is enabling it. Enabling is like supporting. So you've not only put them on, but you're supporting them to thrive in that toxicity. How do we support them? Number one, you don't want to introduce that short circuit that I like talking about. So you found yourself, your person is toxic, they're misbehaving, they're not communicating, they're doing things, and you're not tasking them and asking them why they're doing things in a certain way. Okay, so those are some of the little things that we do to adjust. And then once you adjust, because remember, you're also trying to help this person based on what they give you back. You can decide to advance. How do you advance? You can advance as both of you if you're in a relationship. You can advance in terms of employment. You can decide, I communicated this and I feel that this work environment is toxic, so I'm resigning. You can resign. And as well in the relationship, when you talk to your partner and they don't seem to want to change, and you can see that they are adamant, then you can also decide to call it quits and go for divorce or separation. Okay, so there are many ways of adjusting, but I always say this: divorce is not the option. Always try until you feel you have reached the end. It's only when you have really given your all that even I feel nature will support you, because they will say for sure this one she tried. So accepting, adjusting, and advancing. And this one is a chain. Like you cannot adjust before you accept. Okay, it is, you grow from one level to another. All right, I hope I've answered you, Lavin.
Thank you very much. It was very much.
You're welcome.
Clear.
Well, welcome. So thank you, Elizabeth, for the feedback. God bless you too. Thank you for also taking in clients impromptu, and I just I give out your number a lot. So thank you so much. So Elizabeth, you can also post for us your number here. Dr. Mombi, any therapist who's here, please feel free to put your number in the chat box so that people can contact you whenever they need help. So ladies and gentlemen, let me say this: it's always an honor to see the common faces, Akina Bathsheba, and the likes of Akina Santo, my husband, very supportive. It's always nice to see. I've seen Lynette, Kenya Airways. Thank you so much, Danny, for joining today. I don't take it for granted, in as much as, yes, you're joining to hear from me. It would be nice to also even slip into my inbox and give me the feedback about how you're finding the presentation. And if you ever want me to talk about a particular subject, please let me know, because I'd be willing to put it up as part of our topics to come this year. Otherwise, enjoy your week. I know we've gone past the due time. It's 9:17, but I believe it was worth it. So see you next time, and God bless you. I will end the meeting, all right? God bless you so much. Bye-bye.